Hey, Will. So tell people out there about your movie Tuner and why you think they might enjoy it.
It is an amazing story about a piano. I feel like I always have to kind of tell people the next part of it. Basically, there's a character in it. There's Dustin Hoffman, who plays a veteran piano tuner, and his protege is played by Leo Woodall. And Leo has his character has this hearing issue that makes his hearing very sensitive, and it makes him an excellent piano tuner, an excellent musician, but also he realizes an excellent safecracker. So the movie has many different facets, but ultimately, it's many things. But it's also a heist movie and a very emotional love story, and it's very funny and it's all over the place. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a real roller coaster. It's a very entertaining film. Was it appealing to work on a movie as a composer that's so focused on audio?
Absolutely, very much so. When I first watched the cut, there's a lot of on-camera music in the movie as well, that was composed by a wonderful composer named Marius de Vries, and I was brought in to kind of balance out that music. So that was one of the first things that we talked about. How can we kind of accompany this film? There's already a lot of music in it, but how can we kind of get deeper into the characters and pull out their melodies and really say something that's not kind of on screen? And so, of course, yeah, just having that springboard of knowing that these characters are they so very much live in the world of music. It allowed me to kind of go deeper than I maybe normally would have in terms of sort of instrumentation choices and melody, and knowing what their knowledge of music really is and kind of jumping off from it.
Oh, okay, cool. And what were some of those unorthodox decisions, do you think?
I guess the first thing that I said to Daniel very early on, which I think might have been how I got the gig, was, there's a lot of jazz in this movie, but he didn't necessarily want a jazz score,
Hmm.
but it needed to have some kind of hat tip to the world that Nikki, Leo's character, comes from, and Dustin's character as well. And I said, what if imagine a situation where what if like Bill Evans had access to modern modular synths? What would that sound like? And he was kind of like, I want to know. Can you do that? So that was really the beginning. So I did a lot of crazy stuff with weird modular synthesizers. I actually own, I'm sort of sitting here looking at it. I own this East German piano tuning device that Daniel started calling the Stasi synth. But it's basically this thing from the 60s that the piano tuner would put it on top of the piano, and it has its own internal oscillators inside it, and you use that to pitch the each note of the piano while you're tuning it. And so I use that. It's very wonky and kind of has this very specific sound, and I use that to build all my chords, and a lot of the synths are kind of made out of that device. And it was a really interesting basis of being able to kind of jump off from it. And then also I started life as a saxophone player. I generally don't play on my scores, to be completely honest, or if I do, it tends to be like, that's great, can we get rid of the sort of popping noise? Yeah, all right, fine. This movie was different. I wrote a lot of the melodies on saxophone. When I played stuff to Daniel initially, I played him the sort of synth version of them, which was from the advice of my wife, who's like, don't play him the sax, he's just gonna kill it. But Daniel was like, yeah, these melodies are great. I don't know, it's not quite. I can't put my finger on it. And I was like, okay, let me play you the sax version. Like, that's it. I want that.
I
Great, man. So yeah, there's a lot of sax, which I'm
love
very,
that. I love
very
that.
happy about. Yeah.
Happy about the sax.
Yeah, happy about the sax for once. Normally it gets thrown in the bin. So it's nice.
There you go. Did you meet Dustin Hoffman?
I just met him at TIFF. Yes.
No. What was that like?
It was amazing. I mean, it was amazing. And he had just like instantly, I told him I was the composer, and he just had the most lovely reaction and
Oh.
was so warm and made me, as I said to him, you're going to make me cry. Like, stop it, which is not the first time he's made me cry, but the first time in real life.
Mhm.
It was amazing. And what a generous man. And Were you at that screening with the Q&A with him there?
I was at
The next one.
the Press and Industry screening,
Right, the other
which
one.
and it was a full
The one,
house. Yeah.
of course it was. Good.
Oh
That's
yeah.
nice
Oh
to
yeah.
hear it. He was very he just did a couple of like very emotional, beautiful gestures on stage at the Q&A that kind of got us all. And Daniel was like, you see, what you're feeling right now is what we felt on set every day. It's just like he has the ability to just make you feel very special, you know, in
Oh
the
yeah.
presence of a
Do you have
true
a
legend.
favorite Dustin Hoffman movie besides this, of course?
Of course. Probably Marathon Man. I feel
Ooh.
like my wife and I are constantly saying, "Is it secret? Is it safe?" You know. But yeah, I think that would be the one for me.
Nice. And so tell me about the TIFF premiere of this film.
It was very. I was also at Telluride, which was truly the world premiere, but this was, in a way, was more of the formal premiere, and like obviously Dustin was there, Leo and Havana were there, but they were also at Telluride. It was it was like I knew that people would like this movie, but I think I just really it's just as Daniel has said many times, it's a movie. He wanted to make a movie. Um, and I think as a documentarian, he's someone who seems to want to constantly reinvent himself. And I think being in that room with that audience I really got that. It was just like, oh my God, this people are like having so much fun. This is so fun. And it was really special, like to really feel that. And it was sounded amazing. I've not heard Johnny's mix yet. Johnny Burns, who did the sound design and the mix, who's an extraordinary artist as well. And his mix sounded insane in the Princess of Wales theater. It sounded so good.
Oh, that's phenomenal. And that's great cinema. I was there last night. I saw the Richard Linklater movie. Anyways,
Oh, did you? Cool.
yeah, it was fun. It's great cinema. What did you think about the use of pre-existing tracks in the film? Because I know someone else did that, but did you like the track choices?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You mean like the music supervision? I mean, the movie
right,
starts
right.
with Watermelon Man. I saw Herbie at the Hollywood Bowl last year. I'm a
Ooh,
huge
damn.
fan. I saw the original Headhunters back in London like
Ooh.
years ago. Yeah, I gotta say, like I saw when I watched the first cut, it starts with that and it's just like it slaps you around the face. Everybody knows that piece of music. And I was just like, I'm never gonna get that. That's insane. That's crazy. And then, then Canterbury Island comes and Unsquare Dance and some other huge jazz tunes. But then, Herbie is, I don't want to give it away, but he appears in the movie and I was like, oh, wow.
It's so cool to see him
This
too.
is no joke. Yeah, it's super cool.
Recent, like over the past couple years, I saw Buddy Guy and I saw Herbie Hancock, and then Buddy Guy was in Sinners this year,
That's right. Yeah, totally.
and then now I'm seeing Herbie in
Yep.
in your film. This is amazing.
It's a thing. Yeah, bringing
Yeah.
these legends to the screen. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, and it's an earned moment in both experiences. It's just one scene, but it's
Yep.
so exciting.
That's all it takes. Yeah, especially,
Yeah,
Dustin's character kind of sets it up early in the movie, of course, and then you think it's a bit of a red herring, uh,
right.
but it's not, it's good. Yeah.
Hell yeah. So tell me about a little bit more about Daniel. What's he like to work with?
He's amazing. He's very detail oriented, like, and not a lot of, and I believe that's kind of how this whole thing started in the first place. What he met a piano tuner, and I met the guy as well recently at Telluride. Peter, his name is. I've forgotten his last name, but he hears people. He wants to kind of become an expert in unusual stuff. And I think in the case of meeting Peter, most people hear the word piano tuner and kind of start to tune out. But Daniel's like, okay, tell me
Right.
more about it. And they start talking about the forces of the universe and controlling chaos and all of that stuff. And I feel like with me, it was quite similar. Like he wanted to know what that device is, for example, and all this other stuff that I have in here, and really cared about like the process in a way that was fun. For me, sometimes we can kind of I find myself sort of getting a bit nerdy with the director. And, oh, he's tuning out. He's not hearing me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel, on the other hand, wants the information, and that was great. And also, a lot of these people tend to start, and I'd never met Daniel before until this project. And a lot of times directors will be like, I don't know how to communicate about music. It's weird. I'm like, none of us do, man. It's like that's the job for me. It's such an abstract thing to talk about.
Mm.
But one of the great things about Daniel is that he knows when it's right and he knows when it's not. And that's all that really matters for us, I think, is to sort of know, you know, I knew when I'd like hit a home run. Do you know what I mean? Like it was,
Yeah.
and it just felt lovely, and he's so appreciative. But also, I knew immediately when something wasn't quite right and what to, and internally how to go about fixing it. So that's very helpful. He's very direct.
I guess he had a natural advantage by being so engaged.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And another director that you've worked with before, I actually got to meet in person during Fantasia Fest, the
Mm.
great Larry Fessenden.
Oh, Larry,
Isn't he
love
the
it.
best?
He's the greatest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are
He's
you going to continue to work with Larry?
Yes, there's something brewing. Let's I don't
Oh,
know
okay.
if he has told you about that, but there is something brewing. I adore working with Larry. My wife also just made a vampire movie, and Larry may have a rather large role in it. So
Ooh.
too. So watch this space.
What I like about Larry is his movies are so entertaining, but he is cool. Like he's very humble, and he'll even second guess himself a little bit. Like I'll have to be like, Larry, come on. He'll be
Yeah,
like, well, I had one scene in Bringing Out the Dead. I was like, Larry, you were in a film directed by Martin Scorsese. This is a big deal.
he's ridiculous. I know. Yeah, he can be self-deprecating, but it's deeply charming. He's
Yeah.
someone who taught me the tragedy of how do I say this? He has a very articulate way of putting it, but sometimes when horror is tragic as opposed to just scary, it's more disturbing. And I think he kind of like really, with the movies that we've done together, there's like a certain sadness to the horror aspect of
Mm,
everything. And I've very wholly embraced that idea of like emotion through emotional disturbance through
right.
horror. Yes, Larry would love that.
What was the one you did? The werewolf one? What was it called?
Blackout.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that is like you're right. There's like a high degree of melancholy in that movie.
totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's truly sad. And Larry would say the existence of the werewolf is in itself a tragic icon, and similarly with Depraved, I did the one right before it, which is a sort of a Frankenstein take. Uh,
Right.
same idea. There's a certain melancholic angle to his work, which I very much align with.
And he would say that the question would always be, well, when are you going to do the mummy? And he'd say, I want to do Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, that's right. He'd have a quip to get back at you about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, what keeps you excited to still be a film composer? You've been doing it. I hate to say it for a minute now. What keeps you excited?
I think we're always I kind of there's a eureka moment that happens on every project where I just stumble on that melody or chord sequence that couldn't live without what it's reacting to. And I feel like quite often I'm kind of chasing the dragon of that experience. Like I want to have that feeling over and over again.
I
Um,
love that.
yeah, and sometimes that happens instantly, sometimes it takes a minute, but the pursuit, the journey of getting to that place is different every time. It's never the same. Um, and yeah, how could you possibly be bored doing this? So
I love it. I love it. It's great. Enthusiasm is infectious, and I certainly felt that during this interview. And I want to thank you for your time, Will. Do you have
thank
a
you,
final
Michael.
thought you would like to end this interview with?
Um, I don't know. I got to go back to work. How about that? That's my thought.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you get right to it then. So take
Right
care.
on. It's really good to chat. All the
Hell yeah.
best.
Bye now.